What's up everyone? Today I'm going to be taking a look at a very interesting product made for guitar players who are into that little tappy tappies, and it aims to solve some kind of problem with tapping and making things easier for those who are probably trying to learn how to tap. And this company is called Hammerhead Guitar Picks, and on their website it says you don't have to be a guitar god to play like one. The unique design of the Hammerhead pick allows aspiring rock gods to instantly tap into the techniques of the pros. Naturally, I was intrigued, so I decided to buy some and test them out. So when the picks arrived, they came in a little box, a little white box, and when I opened it up, it was filled with 4 total guitar picks. There were 3 that were white with green lettering made entirely of plastic, and there was a 1 red pick with a metal tip on the end as opposed to the plastic on the other 3. Ergonomics of the design with this guitar pick is actually pretty nice. The way that I hold a pick and the way that the tapping surface lines up with where it needs to be to give that ease of tapping is actually pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. And just to go on record, Hammerhead Guitar Picks did not send me these. They are not paying me to say anything, so everything that I'm saying in this video is 100% my brutal, honest opinion, and that is what it is. So before I get into my thoughts and opinions on these picks, I'm going to let you give a listen to how this sounds compared to my normal picking and my tapping with my bare finger, just so you can get an idea of how these things differ from the other two. Do they make me sound more like a rock god? We'll find out. Okay, so now that you have heard some samples and examples of how these things sound compared to my fingers and my normal guitar picks, the Trinity picks I use from Jim Dunlop, I have some thoughts on these guitar picks. I think the idea behind them is great. I think the product design itself is great. However, I think it falls short for me in a few different ways. The first part is that these guitar picks are fairly thin for what I'm used to, and I do have the medium size, and I don't believe I could get anything else at the time. I think I might have got these off of Amazon instead of their own actual site, so maybe that's a problem with how I got them ordered, because I do see a heavy version that is black on their website, which I would have preferred a black color. The white and the red just don't do it for me. But the medium size here is maybe like a 0.7, 0.8 millimeter, and I haven't used that size in like half a decade. It just doesn't work for my playing style. I have a very heavy hand, so if that is something that you also have, maybe it would be a good idea if you were to get these picks to get the heavier set. The other thing that I ran into was kind of just a sound issue with the pick with the metal tip, the metal tapping surface on it. It sounds a little too clanky to me. It doesn't sound organic enough or smooth and clean, and maybe it's the way that I'm using it, because obviously I'm not used to these things, but it just doesn't sound as good as, like, say, my finger. These metal tips here just kind of just don't sound good to my ear, and you know, I think that's just the way that I think things need to sound, and maybe you like the sound of that, but to me, in terms of like making music that fits in the mix and having the guitar tracks actually sound good, this just doesn't do it for me. It just doesn't hit the bar. And then with the plastic ones, unfortunately, it appears that the plastic ones have a little bit of a seam with however these are manufactured that goes right down the middle of the tapping surface, and a lot of times when I'm using the plastic one, that little bit of a lip is enough just to catch the string, and it makes playing with it kind of difficult, because you'll be tapping and it catches the string and it twangs and it slows you down, it messes up your timing, and it's just kind of a small design flaw, and maybe they had a limitation with how they can manufacture these, but that seam right down the middle of that surface just doesn't do it any favors. So who would I think these would be good for? I would think if you're a beginner guitar player who has not already ventured down the path of tapping and kind of set in your own style and the way that you do tapping, this might be a interesting route to go down. This could be one of those situations where this is your style, you like the idea of using a pick and not messing up with your finger, getting a callus built up or anything. You can just kind of jump into the whole tapping idea, and maybe these guitar picks might just work for you. I also think these picks might be interesting for folks that are non-metal guitar players. I think I could see where somebody could use these to a good extent with metal, but I just don't think they beat using your finger, to be honest. And now there might be other styles like acoustic tapping and stuff that warrants more of that clanky, smacky sound that this might be good for, but as soon as you throw on gain and overdrive and distortion and all that fun stuff onto a guitar and you use these, to me, it just doesn't cut it over your organic stub. These also might be good for people with lighter touches, because the material, the plastic that they're made out of, is more flimsy, and again, I have the medium size, but I bet the heavies are also the same. I am used to a very thick and sturdy guitar pick, and even a small guitar pick. The Trinity picks are kind of small, and these are relatively larger than the Trinity picks that I use. So if you have a lighter touch and you're playing acoustic or something, these might be actually really good for that sound, but for somebody like me with a heavy hand who likes to really dig into the strings for those chugs, these just didn't cut it. So overall, I think this is a really cool product. I just don't think it's for me. I'm not saying this is a bad product by any means. It just didn't meet the standards of what I would want out of it, or what I had thought I would be able to do with it when I had purchased these. They just didn't live up to my expectations. And again, that's not to say it's a bad product or anything, because you could buy them today and think they're the best guitar pick in the world. But for me and for my purposes of what I need out of a guitar pick, they don't work for me, and that's just the gist of it. Doesn't mean they're bad, doesn't mean they're great, doesn't mean anything other than they're not for me. All right, so that kind of does it for this little review here. Let me know what you think of these guitar picks. Have you tried them? Are you gonna buy them? You know, let me know. And before you go, make sure you go check out this video right over here. And I'll see you guys in the next video.